Bonjour. Kinda just want to talk about Persona. I'm playing through Persona 5 Royal. I have like lots of thoughts on the game that I kind of want to get through while I like go through the very last guy. But it's very interesting. This is my very first Persona game, and I only got into it because of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, weirdly enough. Because of, I remember the reveal was so insane and how hyped everyone was for it. I was like, damn, okay, this must be a big deal. But yeah, I don't know, Persona is like a very interesting series. It's low-key absurd. I don't know how to feel about Persona 5 Royal. As far as the base game goes, I actually really enjoyed it. My like main issues are with the game are not necessarily like the gameplay or the palaces, but more so I think the boss fights and then like the narrative ending of Persona 5 is a little annoying. I think like thematically and story-wise, like Persona is like done very well. Story, I was like very interested in the whole time. And like I'm gonna be 100% honest, there'll be spoilers in this. There's just like a lot of weird like funny stuff going on in Persona that I don't know how I feel. There's like some funny stuff that I think is really goofy. Also, leveling up some of the personas. There's like some things in here that don't make too much sense. I should have like been a lot more organized about this. Because I've had like lots of thoughts about Persona as I've played. And definitely like the first half of the game felt the strongest to me. Going through, there was so much excitement. I do think some of the hype from like Smash Bros. I feel like I carried that with me. But outside of like the Smash Bros hype, I also felt just the story was very strong and there's a lot of hype with the music, right? Like the music was just fun. Every time you're about to like rush in and go into a boss fight, and it plays like the best song of the whole soundtrack. It's like, goddamn bro, what am I supposed to do? The fighting is also interesting. This is my first time playing like a hardcore like turn-based RPG. Like my very first ones was like the Pokemon Fire Red on like the Game Boy or whatever, and then I played like a little bit of Emerald, and then that's it. I never touched the turn-based game after Pokemon Emerald, so I was a little worried about how it would go because I wasn't like 100% sure on anything. Like I was worried that I'd be bored playing through it. And to some extent, I was a little bored in the sense that like, okay, once I learned everything and I got like a good grasp of the fight mechanics and how everything goes, I just struggled with the speed. There'd be times where I just want to like go through everything faster. I want to like skip through things. And they have like a little feature which like makes things a little faster, but it's like an auto battle. I want to be more involved. I want it to be like, oh look, like right now in game I'm like moving up and down, I'm controlling, I'm choosing the attacks. The auto battler, like the speed up, is like it doing everything for you with like their AI. And like I just don't, what I want is the animations to be faster. Like sometimes these animations take so long. Like the more powerful the attack is, the animation can take forever. It's very, very annoying. And there are also some fights that like they aren't really strategy. It's just like, oh, they gave the boss an absurd amount of health, and it's just become like a whole thing of, oh, here I am doing what I do best. What they end up doing is they take away like some of the aspects that make it quote unquote great, and the boss fights a lot of time become like DPS checks. So like the story is interesting, the puzzles are interesting enough, and you go through and you play. And then you get to the boss of the palace. The palace is like the dungeons of this game, or like the gym leaders. And the bosses or gym leaders, they're just not that like exciting. Bro, this boss fight's annoying. This is the longest boss fight I think in the whole game. I think last night or 2 nights ago I tried to beat it. It took me an hour for each attempt and I lost at the very end. With Persona's like interesting. I think I've really enjoyed it. I don't see myself going back to play an older Persona game. One of my friends has gone through and played like all of them, which is like great for them. I'm just not that interested in Persona. And I've enjoyed the game enough to where like I want to check out other projects by the studio. One of them being like Metaphor Ray Fantasio. But I don't want to like pay full price for it and play it on my PC. Another thing that's interesting in this game is that, or like one issue I had with the game, is that somebody told me that like if you would date like multiple of the characters, there would be funny dialogue. And so like before, I had no interest in trying to like rizz up the ladies in the game, because you know, I do it so much in real life already.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
But yeah, I just had no interest in it, and so I would go through, but I was like, okay, if I can get like all these ladies together, like where there's a funny interaction, it'll be worth it. So I like pursued it, where I think all the main character like women, except for like Futaba and the fortune teller and maybe even the doctor, I got to be like full, I got to like level 10, I got them ranked up so that they could be, so that we're like quote unquote dating in game. And I can't lie, bruh, there's no like no quote unquote benefits to it. I know like in the real world, right, you're dating someone, you shouldn't be thinking of like the benefits, but like really, there really aren't any. There's no like in-game reward. Like there's some actually like for some of the characters it feels worth it, but for others it's just not as much. I don't really know what to do. Like another thing, I was told like Valentine's Day there'd be like really funny interactions, and I realized getting into the third semester, which is the DLC portion of Persona 5, that it ends before Valentine's Day. So it's like, what's going on? You just lied to me. Was I just baited for no reason?
Oh, chat, I was talking about Persona 5 a while ago, and I said something along the lines of there being like no Valentine's Day thing. I like finished the game recently. I was wrong. There is Valentine's Day stuff, and I should have finished the game before I spoke about it. Which, you know, well, a big surprise, you know, but still. The Valentine's Day thing was really funny. I think it does add to the game for me, but I don't think that the game has a, like the flaws I have with the game are not fixed because of that, if that makes sense.
I was talking earlier about how great some components of like the battle mechanics are. One of those being like the weaknesses and like the fear and like the status effects, right? But the weaknesses and like the status effects and stuff, for the very final boss fight, go away. The boss, it's similar to this boss here, where there's like, you have the main central guy you're fighting, and they have like 4 or 5 arms. Each of those arms have different weaknesses that come and go, and they each cause like, this is the interesting part of it, but they each like block a part of like what you can do in combat. It feels too similar to me to the story of like the very final boss, where like this time the big bad who I'm fighting now, this geezer in like the weird Dio cosplay, he's like, his whole thing is that like people shouldn't have to struggle for happiness, and even if it's real or fake, it doesn't matter. No one should struggle for any of their goals, any of their dreams, or anything. Everyone should just be happy, even if it's fake. Kind of like the Matrix with like blue pill, red pill. Like, is it better to live in a reality that's fake, where you like a lot of people have what they have, but all of it is once again fake? Or is it better to live in a reality in which you know everything is real and you can kind of like fight for something better? I kind of understand that idea because it's been done so many times, but I feel like the game, this is like, it feels like more of the same. It's like it feels like oranges versus tangerines, you know, or like lemons versus limes, like the final boss and then the like boss of Royal. Please, if Joker dies here, I'm literally ending stream. Alright chat, this has been a fun stream. I will see y'all later. Bye bye. My water broke, I'm having triplets, bye.